We have a big whiteboard behind us with a list of players that we are going to discuss on the plane, wild card, and ones that didn't make the 33, I think it was, so the ones that are definitely staying at home. So that is what we are referring to. Now, before we get onto the player selection, I want to get into the minds of how the players are selected, and of course, couldn't have better guests for that. Former England manager,
he knows.
Coached under, worked with Gareth at England. Like this is,
that's right. Yeah,
I'm going to pick your brains now, Chris. How does Gareth go about selecting his squad? Talk us through, is there a group discussion? Does he just come to you? You know, what are you doing when you're selecting the squad?
So I think really how it's done, Gareth and Steve, employed by the FA, they're the guys that really hone down what the squad is. I was only really involved in discussions just before the Euros in 2021. But ultimately, Gareth has the final say and Steve. You have an input, the staff. I think we all know Gareth's very understanding and intelligent to understand others and how, integration and how everyone has a voice. But ultimately, when you're in that role, as Sam knows, you have to have that choice. I remember discussions before the Euros. Again, we had a bigger squad and some players were going to come out. But then you have 2 friendlies and anything can happen. There's a long list, there's an understanding of who's coming up. So someone like Kobbie Mainoo, Gareth would have known about him and where he's at in his development with England and also with Manchester United.
But they're all going on about Mainoo now. But he's fantastic and looks a great player. Nobody's done more than Palmer.
Don't get onto it yet. Hold on.
You know what I mean?
Hold on.
The word's going around because he's had a great FA Cup winner and all that. And it's like Chelsea finished the season, he's sort of forgotten. He's had the player of the season.
He won't be forgotten, Sam. He will not be forgotten.
No, not with England. He won't be forgotten. I'm just talking about out in the wilderness. But I mean, Gareth's big problem is they're so good, and the squad's so good. Right? Do you want me to talk about this now?
No, we'll carry on then, and I'll start. Hold on. Okay.
You know what I mean? The squad's so good, and I've said this for a long time. I'll keep saying it, so you can come in. It's the best squad in the world.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, I'm going to ask you for your England's prediction right at the end. We're going to tease everybody, and we're going to get both of your starting 11s for the Serbia game at the end as well. So before that, so it's Gareth and it's Steve. They're getting a little bit of input, but it's them essentially that are choosing this. Right, 33-man squad is what's been named. 2 friendlies, and then it goes down to 26. So before we get on to that, the players that didn't make the squad, we've suggested a few. Again, for our podcast listeners, we've got a whiteboard. We've suggested a few that were surprised that didn't, or not surprised, but they just didn't. Maybe we're not surprised, but they didn't. So in terms of the ones that are staying at home, anybody sort of jumping out at you that you were surprised that didn't make the team?
I think everybody's picking him out, sadly. Unfortunately for him, is Marcus Rashford. Normally stalwart, always there. Since that one, the one before that, Raheem Sterling. So they do, and he is. You say he's loyal, but he's good. When the time is up, he'll make that decision. And the only person who thinks the time is up that's important, not anybody else, is Gareth, because he's the man who picks it in the end of the day.
Yeah, Rashford was the headline not to make the squad. Was he the biggest surprise for you, Chris?
Yes and no. I think the season that Marcus has had, for his standards, wasn't at the level of previous seasons. He still actually played for England, scored. I think it was against Italy.
Yeah.
Off the left. Bit of a game changer for England, always has been. But he's just not maybe ahead of 2 or 3 others that are in the 33 at this present time. I actually think he can come back. I really do. I don't think he's written off. Well, I think it might be harder for Raheem. Maybe a bit older. And like Sam
he's
said,
only like 30 though, isn't he, Raheem?
Yeah, 30, 31. But I still think there's players that you're looking at now in those wide positions that may be there for the next 3, 4, 5 tournaments. So Marcus was the headline, but understandable. I think it's understandable. But again, it's up to him now to have a rest and come back firing next year.
What about in terms of, I was thinking Jordan Henderson in terms of the experience that he would have brought. What did you make of that?
Again, I think he's had a season where it hasn't gone the way he would have wished with regards to going to Saudi and then saying to everyone, made a bit of a mistake here, which is...
Money's not everything.
No. And kudos to him to actually holding his hand up saying, I need to come back. Yep. Going to an iconic club, really, but they're in a mess at the moment, Ajax. Not playing to the level and the intensity that all the other guys have been playing at. And I think that's one of the reasons maybe Gareth said, maybe a changing of the guard. There's one or two young players that are now showing that they're capable and maybe felt it wasn't right for Jordan to be in the squad.
The weakest part of the squad, and it's not that weak, but we've got the defenders.
Yep.
The midfield is, and the front line are so strong now with the names that are, and the quality of the players that we've got is why Jordan Henderson probably be left out, The
one name for me that I was surprised hasn't made the 33 was Dominic Solanke, because he's had the season of his life, 21 goals in all competitions. And I know that people will immediately say, well, who would you have left out for him? I would have left out Ivan Toney. Now, I was a massive Ivan Toney fan for England last time, but I think Dominic Solanke had a better end of the season. What do you think?
Oh, he definitely had a better end to the season.
Well, he had a better season completely.
In general, of course. Ivan only had half a season. I think what goes in Ivan's favour is his last performance for England. Mm-hmm. How he's different to Harry and Ollie. But I think I would have tried to get Dominic in the 33. Maybe not the 26, but the 33 to just say...
Have a look.
Yeah. We're going to have a look at you. We see you. We're
it's taking him
rewarding you.
Years to become a goal scorer. Right?
Absolutely, yeah. And he was outstanding. I think you should take 3 strikers. Mm-hmm. So for me, I think Ivan will go with Harry, alongside Harry and Ollie. Of course, are they going to play? Not really. If Harry's available, he's playing. Yeah. Let me tell you now. Yeah. But they are different. So it's a shame for Dominic. And I don't think it's because he plays for Bournemouth. I don't think that at all. I think he's proven at the level that
he'll be a West Ham target. He'll spend more money than anybody else when it comes to a striker, David. Mm. If you want a talented midfielder, fullback, you don't get it. But if it's a striker and he scores goals, he'll get the money. I think he's just down their street. If Bournemouth get the right offer, and they'll actually sell him. But as in terms of his England position, is he like Ollie? Mm. Similar, Watkins.
Yeah.
Is he a bit like Harry? Is he a bit? Ivan Toney is nothing like any of them. Mm. But with Gareth's problem is this: if you pick Ivan Toney and you put him on, you've got to play to Ivan Toney. If you don't, it'd be a waste of time being on the pitch.
But you could play to Ivan Toney in the last 15, 20
Correct,
minutes.
Yeah. As long as your tactics are set out that way, as long as you're saying to the players, if we're having a bit of trouble, this may be half time. If we're having a bit of trouble, if Ivan Toney comes on, I don't want you messing around. I want you to play off him. Yeah. I want you to all get around him and get behind him, because he will win or hold it up or flick on every ball. But if you don't do it, it'll be a waste of time putting him on.
Well, you say that, Sam. Against Belgium, in the game, he scored the penalty.
He did, yeah.
He played really well.
Absolutely.
From the start.
Yeah. Absolutely. That's what I'm saying. So I'm saying it looks like he's done it. He's not ignored the fact, he's gone, This is
why you know more than us fans, both of you.
So this is how I take
this.
But they've seen him up close and personal as well. Yeah.
The only problem I have with him is this. He's had a dreadful back end of the season goals-wise. Dried up.
I sold him out my fantasy team.
He dried up, didn't he? He came back, and whether that's the catch-up from his ban, and he's got back, and then all of a sudden the not playing's hit him. The games have hit him, and he's not quite as match fit as he used to be, and that That was him losing.
And he's leaving as well. They've already bought his replacement, Brentford.
Who have they bought?
So, a striker from Bruges.
All right, okay.
Okay, so that's the people that are at home. So that's done, that's gone. They're not in the 33. Then we've got a 33 that's going to come down to a 26. There's going to be a really interesting discussion on a good number of 5 or 6 players, I think. But I want to go first of all to the top. Who is definitely for you on the plane? 100%. I mean, we've made a little list here of suggestions of who we think. Who is on the plane for you? I'm guessing you're straight away going to say Cole Palmer's on the plane for you, Sam.
He is for me, but I think that you can't play like that in your first season in a struggling team. Yeah, which end up not being a struggling team and finishing the back half last 10 games brilliantly, and scoring all those goals and assists without showing or saying to everybody, "I'm ready." You pack your bags.
Mm-hmm.
You go from Manchester to London. Yeah, not an easy task.
Yeah.
If it's the first time you're going to live there, you got to find somewhere to live. You got to settle in. You got to find out all the new players. Some of them won't even speak English, probably. It'd be difficult for them.
Yeah.
And to integrate, but to play like he played, and all those players that Chelsea bought, and he'd end up one of the cheapest. I know, with 30 million.
Yeah.
30 million is cheap now, by the way. 30 million, and the amount they paid on bigger talent than that, and that played nowhere near as consistent as he did. It's not only the goals and the assists, it's how consistent he was, and how good he is on the ball, and how he took all the penalties.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Cool
He just got no nerves, the lad, does he? He just goes out and
Love him.
and he's so creative in terms of what he does. But I don't think you could. He's at the moment, he's one of the biggest match winners for England we've seen.
I can't wait till we get to the end and you pick your 11, Sam, because I want to see how you're getting him in.
So do I.
Chris, for you on the plane, who give me a name? Some of the names of people that you're definitely on the plane for you.
I mean, obviously, looking at that there,
There's
someone
lots,
like Kobe Mainu has come from nowhere to almost say to everyone, "I'm going to be in this squad for a number of years now." He'll go. I'd be amazed if he didn't go.
Yeah.
Phil Foden's been outstanding this year. One of the standout players. Cole Powell.
Has he won Player of the Year, Phil Foden?
Yeah. I mean, Jude. If you look at Jude, going to Madrid, taking the number 5, which was Zidane, scoring 20 goals in his first season at the age of, is he 20?
2021, yeah.
I mean, you're talking about a player that's going to be world class for the next 10 years for me.
Yeah.
Sad he's not playing here.
Yeah.
He's
sad.
He's an
It's a crime he's not playing here.
The players you've just named and the ages of them,
Yeah.
by the way. Wow.
Yeah.
But don't forget, he packed his bags and went to Germany.
Yeah.
No, that's an hard country to go and integrate in, because a lot of the Germans speak good English. Like, there's only us English that don't speak enough foreign languages because we're that lazy. You know what I mean? But I mean, to go into Germany at 18 and then just blitz it, and then to go from there to Real Madrid. I've had Ivan Campo and Fernando Hierro play for me from Real Madrid. 2 massive names, like you mean, but you talk to them about the problems you get at Real Madrid when they don't like you, when the white hankies come up. Because when they start wearing the white hankies, that's you finished normally.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's how big and how much pressure that club puts upon you. It's not bothered him, has it?
Been brilliant.
Here I am.
There's some outstanding players that are at the top of their form. Rice, Bellingham, Palmer, Saka, Kane, Foden. Bones had a solid season. Gordon has. Watkins has. So there's some players that are really in a good place. I think the issues we have got, even with the ones that I think are definitely going, are sort of form and games that they haven't played. Maguire injured. Stones hasn't played too many.
No.
Trippier's been injured. Trent's just come back.
Yeah.
Are you taking all them based off what you know they can do in the experience?
Yes, and I think
I'm not
that's
sure Gareth's that keen on Trent,
well.
is he? is he that keen on Trent?
No.
Well, he's reinvented himself with England as an 8, as a midfielder.
Absolutely, yeah, I
Yeah.
give him that.
So-
But, I mean, look at our midfield though.
So
English
that's
midfield.
why.
Rice, Bellingham, Palmer,
Mm,
Conor Gallagher, if he gets in.
Ooh, is he on the plane for you?
On the basis of midfield, it's not going to be easy though.
Mhm.
I think he'll go.
Yeah.
I do.
Yeah,
Yeah.
in terms of if you're talking who can do both, who can do the defending and the attacking, because we have a sort of the impression that we talk about attacking midfield player and defending midfield player, and we don't seem to say no. You have to be both.
Do both. Yeah.
We seem to have forgotten that the fact that that's not it's it. You don't do anything unless you can do both as a midfield player.
Well, when I give you my 11, I'm going to touch on that a little bit. 'Cause I've had a little
Ooh!
think about it. I think
Okay.
the biggest issue for
Yeah.
me is left back.
Absolutely.
I think it's the biggest
Sure.
issue.
Just come back.
He might not be fit. Gareth has actually said he's up against it. Now, do you take him knowing that maybe 2-3 weeks after the group stages, he's fit enough for the last 16 or quarterfinals?
Who'd you take then if you don't take him? Who would you
Well,
take? Would you take?
he's the only
would you
left back
take
in the
Gomez, who
33.
can play right or left back?
Well, this is
Listen,
it.
Trippier can play left back just as good as he plays right back.
Right.
What if he's injured though?
But he
Well, if he's
hasn't been
injured,
playing. He would be the first one. I mean, he played left back for England,
Yeah.
Euros and World Cup.
Yeah.
So Gomez comes into the equation.
Yep.
It's a shame that Colwill, Ben Chilwell, both
Chilwell,
left-footers, would give us natural balance. So actually, with Luke Shaw, if he doesn't make it, we don't have a left-footed left back for balance. Now, you can get away with that. Of course you can. But it's going to be a big talking point for me, looking at our squad at the moment.
So in that case then, are you taking Branthwaite so at least there's a left footer?
But he's played all season at left centre-back of the 2 or in a 3. Didn't play last time he was in the squad. To put him in at left back, okay, you can put him in as left back and then you can play different, Gareth has spoken about Phil Foden and people saying, if you play him off the left, but it's not where you start, it's where you end up. And he's quite right that you can build in a different way. You can physically say, we're a 4-3-3, but actually when we have possession of the ball, we could be a different shape.
Yeah.
So they may play a little bit like that. I don't know. It's going to be quite interesting that we may go to a tournament without an out-and-out left back, which for me, I think you should always have a player who is, round pegs and round holes.
Yeah.
Simple.
So are you taking Shaw then, regardless of the fact that he hasn't played since February?
If they know that he will actually be fit, England have always taken a player or two that's not fit for first 2 games. Went to Qatar, James Maddison wasn't fit until I think the Wales game, the 3rd game.
There's
I would take him
two
there.
opposites, isn't there? There's 2 opposites. There's the ones that haven't played and there's the ones who've played too much.
Yeah.
You've got to be aware of the ones who've played too much are going to be fatigued when they get there.
Yeah.
Because they don't have much time off, are they, before the England squad comes together?
Yeah, you're right.
And they've probably played, I don't know, top end, 50-odd, 60
Well, that's
games.
Kyle Walker for me, but you still start him.
Yeah, but
he is.
He's unbelievable.
Yeah.
I mean,
He's a machine.
He gets older, he gets quicker. I don't know what's happening with him. I mean, probably that new baby I saw him holding coming out. He's got to go for that. You mean? So I think that he has just shown everybody that that if you get into your 30s and you look after yourself properly, you can still play, because the age seems to be coming down in the last few years. Like you mean, but what is he now? 30.
I want to say 3, but I'm not sure.
32, 33,
and just gotten. If you keep, like you said, you've got all that experience, and if you keep your pace, you stay in the game. You stop playing football when you can't run anymore.
Yeah, tell me about it.
That's what it is.
Let's look at the ones then that they're in the 33, and let's look at the ones. Will they make the 26? So first name. Now when our team were putting up this board, they smacked Jack Grealish straight on the plane section. Is he on the plane for you
No.
both?
He's not guaranteed now.
I hope he is. I really do. I've grown
Honest
to
to God,
like
I
Jack.
think Pep's left him out so much.
Yeah.
I know he had an injury spell as well, but he's not got the sort of game level. And Gareth has never been as keen. He's not been that keen on him. So when you look with Jack in terms of how many times he's played for England, and you know the press would shout, "Get Jack on," like you mean, but he's not quite. And is he better than who else would you play down the left?
What do you think?
I don't know why we persist in playing. I don't know why we have to keep persisting in playing right footers on the left and left footers on the right. Why don't we change it to throw a wobbler in for everybody and say, we'll actually play a left footer down the left.
So Sam,
we'll go down the line and cross it for Ivan Toney to head it in.
Sam, would you put Saka on the left then?
I'd try him.
But he's never played there.
I know.
He's effective on the right.
But you would never know unless you try, would you?
No, of course.
There's not a better thing as a manager to sit there and go right, switch over.
I love it when it happens in a game.
In the game,
and you're like,
ooh.
ooh.
They look at you going, what are you doing?
Should...
Switch over. You're playing crap. You're not playing so good. So swap over. See what's going to happen.
Yeah.
See how good you get. It's amazing if you change just that tactic, how much imbalance it can throw out against the opposition, and how much better that player might play on the left. We've got this weird idea that we have to play the strongest foot, and I still don't think that means that we've diluted the quality of crosses or the opportunity for crosses, because they don't cross anymore, do they?
I like this. We're getting a little smile from Chris every now and again.
Because I'm interested in Sam's 11 now, because most of our wide players play on
the opposite side. Yeah,
they do.
I mean,
and it's just the nature of the game.
I wouldn't be changing that.
Yeah, but
it would change. The only people who are involved in your crossing now is your fullbacks.
Fullbacks, yeah.
And they're not supposed to be as good at crosses as your wingers.
Yeah.
You know, you wouldn't ever get David Beckham playing on the left, would you?
So Jack Grealish, you don't think guaranteed, but on the plane, but does he get in? Does he get in the 26? I think Jack Grealish gets to the 26.
I think he'll just make it.
I think he pulls something out of the bag in this friendlies. Yeah.
I think the two wild cards.
Grealish fan, like you mean? I'm just
yeah.
I think the two wild cards and that, and really interesting players are Wharton and Eze.
Wharton and yes, Chris, could not agree more. And you know the Palace fans are screaming right now.
Yeah, well, I'm from that neck of the woods, so
Adam Wharton has to be the wild card for me.
Yeah, well, I think Eze as well. I do, but I think Wharton, his development and the way his season's gone, I actually saw him for Blackburn against Sheffield Wednesday.
So you'd have Eze instead of Jared Bowen, would you?
No.
Who instead of then?
He's going
Anthony
in.
Gordon.
No, he can still get in there.
We're looking at the 26,
get in the 26.
Yeah, still space.
I think Wharton's development and where he's come from, he's a Premier League passer. He was a Premier League passer in the Championship.
Yeah.
Someone had to take the chance.
Many a Premier League club have slipped up by him at the top.
Palace have got him.
I love Crystal Palace. I love Steve Parish. I know how good he runs that club, like him, but they've slipped up badly. He's been right on the doorstep.
Well,
and everybody talks about him, and not what is this? Is this a detriment to British players?
Yeah, maybe.
That the Premier League clubs are not even looking here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If they're right on the doorstep, Bellingham let him go. You know what I mean? It's like, what are we doing?
We had Sammy Smodics on a couple of weeks ago. He said he will be the best player he's ever played with in the future of English football.
Could well believe that. Could well believe that.
So, so Wharton, wild card.
In,
yes, we want him. Eze, wild card. Does he make it?
I hope so. I mean, he is an outstanding talent.
Yeah. He is that.
I mean, his performances for Palace alongside Elise and Mateta.
I'd like to see him.
Yeah.
I'd like to see him defending more.
Eze.
Yeah. You can't get away with a lazy player anymore, and out of possession. and he's not doing the right job. And I want him tackling, but I just want him getting back in.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want him jogging back or walking back. I want him sprinting back.
Because that's what Jack Grealish will do for you.
Well,
Yeah,
Jack
never stop.
Grealish to get a game at Man City chases fullbacks.
Oh yeah.
Never chased a fullback at Villa in his life.
Yeah. Agreed.
But does at Man City. So the next level because I think that he might leave this year.
Grealish.
No, Eze.
Okay.
Because I always think there's always the right bid that Palace have to sell. So I think that might happen based on how he finished the season, the talent that he's got. But that talent can manifest at a bigger club, and hopefully he can cope with the bigger club and deliver the sort of talent that he is. It'd be nice to see. But it's a clever buy by Steve, that off QPR. Was it QPR?
Yeah, it was, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Look at our wildcard list, Sam, and give me 4, 5, 6 names that you want on the plane.
After that?
Yeah.
They want on.
Well, I'm going to have to go for Gomez.
Yeah.
Because Gomez is centre half, right back, and left back for Liverpool late on this season.
Yeah.
On their injury problems. So that's his versatility.
Yeah. You've already said Shaw.
Maddison's a no.
You're not taking him?
No. Far too much better players already in the squad.
Okay.
And there's a fitness problem with him.
Okay.
Gets injured far too much last season and this season. You want your players who are going to stay fit. I think that's one of the reasons you should look at.
Ivan?
Yes. Yeah.
Conor Gallagher, you like him?
Yeah, I like Conor. Ivan Toney, obviously. And Wharton.
Okay.
How many was that?
Yeah, 5, I think. 6
5,
maybe.
yeah.
Chris, any changes you'd make? Sam's wild cards?
So how did it?
It is, yeah. Well,
it's great to have this so much. It's great for guys.
What a problem!
What a great
it's
problem.
easier. Out of those wild cards, I think it's easier for me to say who I don't think will go.
Okay, we'll do that.
Curtis Jones.
Yep.
I think he's in for experience. Same with Kwanzaa. I think it's a smart move.
Yeah.
You're under no pressure. If they're not in it, they're not expected to be in it. So actually, come and see what we're about. Yeah. See how we work. You know, it's elite level coaching. It's elite level preparation. It's brilliant. You know, I was lucky enough to have it for 3 years.
Yeah.
Curtis Jones, Kwanzaa, Trafford. I think either one or both of Duncan Branthwaite won't go.
Yep.
I think Gomez will go. I think Luke Shaw, if the medical prognosis is he will be fit by sort of the second, third game, or even after the group, I think he'll go.
Yep.
I think Maddison, it's going to be out of him and Eze. I think James was a real big part of the Qatar squad. Got his move to Spurs. Totally a Spurs player, but got injured, came back and wasn't as strong. So that might count against him. I think Gallagher will go and Toney will go. So have I answered your question? Not really.
I liked it though. Yeah.
I mean, you got Reece James down there only because he's not fit.
Played.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is a bit like Luke Shaw, isn't it? We wouldn't be talking about this if they'd played the last, just the last 6 or 7 games.
It's a real headache.
You'd be taking them, you know what I mean? Which is
what you have to face, isn't it? We've put on the play Mark Gay and Ezra Konsa. Konsa's played all season and played very, very well.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Mark Gay has been solid.
We're weak defensively though, aren't we? That's why you end up taking him, because there's no other.
Yeah.
You take Lewis Dunk instead.
Oh, I think Konsa's had a great season. Obviously, Villa have had a phenomenal.
No, I'm on about
Okay.
From Palace.
Okay.
Yeah.
I really like what I've seen, because he seems to have. I don't know. Well, you can tell me better. Has he got more pace than? He looks quick.
Mark Gay.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's a good player.
You know what I mean? And what with
quick,
Harry Maguire and the others, not blessed with a lot of pace, are they?
I
No.
can't wait to see your back four, you know.
I mean,
Ooh.
well, I don't. I just want the back four to defend properly with the goalie, and the rest can do all the goal scoring. We've never had as many goal scorers
Yeah.
in the England squad, and one of most of the tournaments we've been at, one of the things we could look to is the lack of being able to penetrate the opposition by scoring more. We can do that now because look how many goal scorers are in that squad. If we take them, you know, Foden, Palmer, yeah, even Declan Rice has scored about 6 or 7 for Arsenal. Harry Kane, you know, Ivan Toney, you know, I mean, you know, there's goals everywhere. Yeah. Saka, how many has he scored?
Yeah, Saka, Bellingham,
15, 20.
Bowen,
Bellingham, 20.
Watkins.
You know what I mean?
There's a lot of goals.
There's a lot of goals there,
Yeah,
you know, and that's besides what we should be scoring off set pieces. Have they got a set piece coach still? England. I mean, this is the thing, isn't it? I'd love to be employed by them. I can be a set piece coach, man. That's all I've got to worry
You're
about.
challenging for a role, Sam.
I'd be the happiest man in the world
Paul
if I
Neville
was
would
a
be
set
happy
piece
with you.
coach. Not throwing corners and free kicks. Wow, man. Yeah, give me a few grand for that. I'll be there.
Okay, I'm going to give you just a couple more minutes to think about your starting 11. I've got a couple of quick fire questions for you, just a few.
They're never that quick.
You don't need to be, and then we're going to get you 11. So first of all, obviously between now and the Euros, there's one major game of football left, and that is the Champions League final. Who wins the Champions League?
Madrid. Straight away. Yeah, I mean, it's phenomenal how Dortmund's got there. It's not interested.
Yeah.
Phenomenal how Dortmund's got there, but Madrid.
No.
Madrid all day.
You enjoying your coaching? Would you like to get back into management in the future?
No.
Okay.
No.
Good, right, great. Solid, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I've got to say, and without going on it for too long, I think the amount of things you have to give up in your life to be a manager, I think I don't want to do that. You know, I think the role I had last year and hopefully continue with is where I want to be now. I can sleep at night. I'm not sitting there thinking about everything else other than my family my children are grown up now. I think you miss so much. Yeah. And it is about what you're prepared to give up. And I think that's wrong, personally. I understand it when you're a young manager and, you know, I wanted to have a try. I wanted to be a black manager who wanted to do well. And I don't want to be there anymore. And dealing with owners and managing up, no, not for me anymore. I don't see it. I don't feel that way inclined anymore. I want to be in the game, and I understand that, but I've had my time, and I would say 99.9% I won't do it. So that's not completely a no, is it?
All right, Neil Warnock. Yeah, okay. I like that answer. I think
we're actually pleased that you'll come on and you don't need a job.
Yeah, I know, yeah.
Like most of the lads who've come on that actually want a job.
They say yes.
We've got a great record, haven't we?
We have, Sam.
It's
13 people that have been on, Chris,
wow.
and then got a job off the back of the off the back of the podcast. Yeah. Off the back of the podcast after being on the podcast.
After being on the podcast.
Yes.
Yeah. So our record's pretty good. So.
Yeah. Oh wow.
Yeah.
If you're out of work and you want to get back in the game, give us a ring.
He's not signed his new contract with Sheffield Wednesday, so we will claim you when you do.
They'd be foolish to sign him, won't they?
One last question before we get you 11. Dead simple, and this time I just want a yes or a no answer. Will England win the Euros?
Yes.
Yes.